Good evening. We're going to call this regularly scheduled hearing of the Woburn Zoning Board of Appeals to order. I want to remind everyone in the audience that this hearing is being videotaped and audio taped, so please keep that in mind if you decide to approach the rail to address the board. To begin our hearing, I'd ask that everyone join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on our agenda this evening is petition of John Vining in connection with a request for a special permit to raise and replace an existing two-family home at 162 Montvale Avenue.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm John Vining. I own this home at 162 Montvale Ave, and like the chair had said, the intention is that we have an existing two-family home that is in an R1 zone, and we want to remove and replace it with another two-family home. I'll just take a minute just to highlight the important zoning information that's on the plot plan. So the existing home currently violates front setback, side setbacks, and rear setbacks. What we are proposing will meet all of the current setbacks, and all of the other zoning requirements that come into play in regards to lot coverage and building height and so on will all meet current zoning. So the request really is simply to ask to build a new two-family zone in an R1 zone that will replace the existing house. I do want to point out that I've spoken to all of the direct abutters. Jim and Ellen are here, and I have submitted a list of everybody who is in a direct line of sight to my property, just to review with them what the intention was. And I wish I spoke to these guys sooner in the 28 years that I've been here. There's some great folks, so we've had no objections from any of the neighbors.
All right, is that
That's my
your
plea.
presentation? All right, so how many existing bathrooms and bedrooms are there up on the building?
In the existing structure, it's 2-bedroom, 2-bath per unit.
So a total of 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms.
4 bedrooms and 2 baths in the existing house.
Oh, I'm sorry, I think I misunderstood you. There's one bathroom in each unit?
Yes.
Okay, and what's proposed?
Proposed is 5 bedrooms and I think 4 to 4.5 baths in each of those new units.
So you want to have 10 bedrooms and 8 or 9 bathrooms on the site
Yes.
now? All right, and have you reached out to anybody at the city to determine if the water and sewer services, the existing lines can handle
I have
that
not.
additional?
No.
So I had a couple questions. All right, so I thought you just said the proposed structure will comply with all of the current zoning requirements?
There are 2 existing violations that will remain. One is that it's in an R1 zone, which we cannot change, and the other is that the frontage does not meet the required frontage, and that is existing, that will remain the same.
All right, so but the proposed structure is going to continue to, and I'm sorry, this plan is kind of condensed.
Plot plan?
It's a little challenging for me to read. The existing structure violates the rear setback, right?
Yes,
Because those 2 little kind of, the side lot lines jog in,
correct,
and the lot lines that jog in, those are rear lot lines.
correct.
Okay. So the proposed structure is also going to violate the rear lot line requirement?
It's not.
Well, how many feet is it away from the rear lot line?
We have to be 30.
Yeah.
31.8.
Yeah, we're
That's at the very back. I'm
at the,
talking
at the
about,
very rear, correct.
I'm talking about the two small little ones that jog in.
Yeah, so because of that angle, you're right, it is a little difficult to read because of the gray line. So because of that angle, I am on the understanding and working with my surveyor that 30-foot rear setback at the jog, we are not in violation of that.
Is there a measurement on these plans that shows the distance between the proposed structure and that rear lot line?
That particular line,
Yeah,
there is not.
okay. So that needs to be on the plan.
Okay?
And then on your elevation drawings,
Yes.
so I don't, so there's one on the, let's see. I'm trying to figure out the height.
Yeah. So we have, the height is calculated based on average grade. And because the lot is up the hill, in order to determine average grade, because it's such a large lot, we have one portion of the lot at the front towards the street that sits much higher than the rear. So we were able to calculate the average grade. And based on that average grade, each structure is well within the building height requirement.
So I see 23,
Roughly 23 and 3 inches for the...
let me, and this might actually.
Sure.
So are you saying, so this entire lot that has a hill at the front and slopes down,
Yep.
how do you determine the average grade when you're essentially building two separate houses at different parts of the lot?
Well, they're not separate. They are connected.
Sure, but they're essentially two single-family homes that are connected by a garage in the middle.
Right. So the average height is calculated by determining the average grade around the property corners of the entire structure. So if one structure sits high and the other structure sits low, we calculate the average grade around the perimeter of the entire structure. And once we determine what that number is, we can then determine the building height. So, for example, on sheet A4, on the front elevation on the top of the page, you can see that the average grade sits well below the house there, and that building height is about
Sorry,
31.
you just said A4?
Yes. Sorry, I'll give you
I
a
don't
moment.
have, do you guys have anything that's marked A1, 2, 3, 4?
I don't think I have that.
So I don't know what you're referring to.
Okay, so I'm looking at the front exterior elevation.
Yep.
So are you looking at the first page of the,
That's correct.
okay.
Oh, it's blocked off, sorry. I just saw on yours, you don't see the number there.
So I numbered them, so I just numbered these 1 through
Okay.
5.
All right, so on the front elevation, the average grade sits well below the front of the house, and the height of that front structure is about 31'6" from that average grade. And then when you look at the faded, somewhat faded lines where you can see the house to the rear,
Yep.
that average grade sits higher to that house because it's the difference between the two. So basically, to answer your question directly, the average grade is determined by measuring the grade where it meets the corners of the structure. And that's in the bylaw.
Well, let's stick with this first page. One of the things that concerns me about the rear structure, which I think you call 162B as in boy.
Yes,
So the basement shows access or, egress windows And then you have double shed dormers. So to me, that looks like this could be a 4-story building. And we're seeing an increasing number of, buildings that are really tall.
Right.
Do you have any of the measurements about the height of the basement?
Yeah, so that basement for the rear structure will be completely below grade. And it sits a little bit high, and what I did was I put in some egress emergency escape windows in that basement in case there was ever an extended family that wanted to have a legal bedroom down there. And then in regards to the attic space and the dormers, this meets the requirement for a half-story definition. So that rear structure is a 2.5-story. It's a window well that I'm showing for those windows that you're talking about.
So there's some other plan that shows a window well there?
Yeah.
We don't have that.
Well, you can see it actually on the right side exterior elevation. There is a pair of double-hung windows at 162B. So that was windows in case we wanted to have emergency escape windows there if there was the requirement for a basement bedroom.
All right, so where's the window well going to be?
Let's see where that plan is. So it would be on the basement plan of 162B.
Left side exterior elevation plan as well.
Yep.
What page you're referring to?
Do the second drawing, the left side.
What are you looking for?
It's on the same sheet that the front exterior elevation is on.
Oh, right up there. Okay, got it.
And on the basement construction plan for 162B, I have a note on the lower right-hand corner of the plan that says emergency escape window, and there was a rectangular box that would represent a window well, if we in fact do build that.
All
I
right.
wanted to show that option.
All right, and I have the same question about the double set of windows on 162A, the
Correct.
garage level.
Yep. So that's a similar scenario where that is, that side of the house is exposed at the driveway side, and we have the opportunity to have windows there for either an office or a bedroom.
All right, and is that a story? So is that a full story? Do
It's not considered a story because of the average grade.
you have the calculations for that?
You know, I don't have them on the plot plan, but I can certainly have those calculations shown.
Let me ask if any other members of the board have any questions.
I've got a couple. I think the chair touched on it from what I was seeing, and then you said you spoke to your neighbors and they're all in favor of it, but they realize these are two massive houses connected by a garage, correct?
Yeah.
You showed them the drawings and...
I did, yeah. I actually live right next door at 160, and I've struggled with this with my wife and kids, that we've been here 28 years, and we're going to remove the house that we've owned for so long that we've become accustomed to. So it's actually my rear yard that is going to be impacted the most. So I don't see this as anything that's going to be overbearing for them when I spoke to each one of them about it.
Yeah, substantially more detrimental. I just wanted to ask you, when did your current house become two-family?
I don't know that. I've owned it for 25 years, and it's always, as far as I know, I mean, that's what I've been paying taxes on, and that's what it says in the assessor's database. I don't know how long it's been that way. I do have some folks that live behind me who are now slowly passing on, who actually grew up in my house when it was a farmhouse with 3 acres. They knew it was the Corey family that lived there for many years. I'm an architect. For the life of me, I don't know how it was originally a single family. So I don't know the answer to that.
Or when, correct?
Yeah, or
At least
when,
for 28 years, you said you've,
Yeah.
is right now, you call it the two-family, is there a garage in back where people are living, or is that just a garage, or is it the main house that's the?
That's a barn that I
Barn?
built a number of years ago. So I just put my cars in there.
Okay. All righty, thank you.
Just had a question or two. Just, I got a little confused earlier when you were saying how many baths and bedrooms, current versus proposed. Can you go over that again?
So the existing house has a first floor unit and a second floor unit, and each of those units has a 2-bed and 1-bath in the existing home.
Okay, and then proposed?
Proposed, we have upwards of 5 bedrooms per house and 4.5 bedrooms per house.
We'll have bathrooms
Yes,
per house.
yeah.
And what about parking? How many parking spaces do
We
you have?
have 2-car garage for each unit, and then enough space for 2 cars outside of the garage for each unit. Visually, so I have a very serious opinion about what should be built here because it's right next to me. So I wanted to make sure that what we were designing was something that fit within the neighborhood. It was not going to be overbearing or drastically changing, so there's no change in curb cut. There's no difference in how you'll access the property or park. So in essence, I wanted to keep everything the same so that the parking would work easily.
So 2 in the garage, 2 right behind
Yeah.
the door, so essentially.
Yeah,
up to
technically speaking, the front house, you'll be able to pull into the driveway and park to the right, or pull into the driveway and go into your garage. The rear house, you can pull straight in and go into the garage, or pull to the right and park next to it. And specifically because I've plowed this driveway myself for 25 years, I kept in mind where you're going to be pushing snow and clearing it because it can be a challenge there.
Okay, so technically up to 8 cars on the
Yes.
property.
So the plans show 6 bathrooms. in-
Could be. You caught me off guard and I just was going on memory. I can actually count them if you want me to.
Well, they're
Just to-
counted on the plans,
Yeah, just to
right?
get it on record, right.
Right, so I'm looking at the last page of they have the elevation drawings on the front, so 5 of this packet shows the 6th bathroom up in the attic of each.
Yep.
So I'm going to tell you what my concern is
Okay?
about big houses with 5 bedrooms and 5 or 6 bathrooms. And this is not directed at you personally. I've expressed this concern about other developments
Sure.
in the city. My concern is that this is ripe to be turned into a boarding house and for things to be rented out by the bedroom. So I want to let you know that that's my concern.
Okay. I can respond to that.
Sure, go ahead.
From a design point of view, I have 2 answers actually. From a design point of view, in this field where I've designed homes and additions, there's such a high demand for space for multiple family members because the market that we're in, I have 2 kids, 26 and 24. The chances of them buying a house anytime soon are 0. So we've designed homes for people that have extended families. Most of these families have moms and dads that have sold off their homes to be able to help the kids out. So the demand is for extended families. The demand is also for multiple home offices. And then secondly, I did not anticipate that I was going to be in this situation when I went to list the house for sale. I work with a close friend of mine from Woburn who's a developer, and when he found out, he says, "John, let's do what we always do. Let me build this for you." I trust him to be the type of person that will design a house that will be of high quality and that it wouldn't be a scenario where it becomes a boarding house scenario.
Let me ask, is there anyone in the audience who cares to be heard in connection with this application for special permit at 162 Montvale Ave? Any other questions or discussion? All right, so, Mr. Vining, since the plan that you provided us does not have a very important measurement as to the rear lot line, I personally am not prepared to vote on it because your plan is incomplete.
Sure.
And so anything that the board does, we tie to the plans that are submitted. I don't know if anybody else has any feedback, but I'm going to suggest that you update your plan and come back.
I would agree with you. I'd like to see that measurement in the plan.
Okay.
So I think actually, so do you want a continuance do you think you'll be able to get that updated?
Oh, yeah, very quickly, sure.
All right, I think our next hearing is on August 6th. We're having a little issue with people get to go on vacation. So I think our next hearing is going to be on August 6th. Yeah? Right,
Sticking with the 6th.
Yeah.
I think so. Unless the clerk tells me differently.
I'm flexible, so don't worry about
I
me.
think there were so many people missing on the 13th and the 20th, I think the 6th is
Yeah,
it. but-
okay. So we're going to have our August hearing on August 6th. And if you want more time to update the plans, we have a form where if you want to ask for continuance.
No, I can
allow
meet
you
that
to do
date.
that.
I can get that, I can get it updated to you quickly.
Okay.
I think also you requested that I have the average grade calculation too.
I would really like to see those.
It's actually gonna, the whole property is actually gonna sit lower than the existing house because it's gonna move downhill, but
Yeah, okay.
no problem.
So you want to request a continuance to do that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Mr. Vincent has a form that he'll ask you to sign, and then we'll see what the board wants to do. Hold on.
And if you could, for the next meeting, I also am a little uncomfortable with the 6-bath scenario. So if you could maybe clarify that for the next meeting too, because we started out with 4.5 and we're up to 6, and I'm a little uncomfortable with that number.
Is there, what's the professional opinion in today's market for a new home? Could you share with me what everyone would prefer to see? I'm designing this, so I can remove a bathroom from the attic, I can remove a bathroom from the basement. If you say to me, we'd really like to be maxed at a certain number, I mean, I also want to design something that's very attractive for a buyer. So I have that challenge of something that's not too big, but then also something that is highly attractive.
As Madam Chair mentioned, the concern about it becoming like a boarding house, and the more bathrooms there are, the more likely that is to happen. So-
Well, and
Okay.
particularly, if I could join, we've had some instances where basements have been turned into apartments. And having a full bathroom, like is shown in your plan, heightens, particularly if there's a direct access, that is always something I point out. And again, I'm not like casting
Right.
any aspersions. It's just that we've seen it happen, and you're already a non-conforming use in an R1 zone, and we don't know who's going to own this property 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now. And
The reason, I'm sorry to cut you off, the reason why they're turning it into apartments is because there's such a low demand. This meets the demands of what's required.
sure, yeah, I understand, but it also could meet the demand of someone using it as, now, instead of a two-family, it's actually 4 separate units, and that's, that's not allowed. So I want to thank Member Ryan for raising that, because that's something I usually kind of harp on, I guess
If
is
you
fair to
want,
say.
Mr. Ryan, I can at least put on the record now, because I was really focusing my efforts on elevations and height, because I know that would be a concern, but what we have designed on the first unit is, we have, Chair, if you don't mind, I'll read these off if you want to tally them for me. So at the basement level, 162A has one bathroom, showing an office that could be a bedroom. So if you want to call that a bedroom, you could. 162B is the same in the basement, one bedroom and one bath. On the first floor, there is one bedroom and 1.5 bath for each unit. On the second floor, 5 bedrooms, three bathrooms per unit. And then in the attic level, we added a bath for each unit. One of the bedrooms was labeled a primary bedroom, so I was looking at bedroom 5, and I neglected to count the primary. So that math, what is that math?
I was relying on your plan
Okay.
that said bathroom 6. So I assumed that when you or whoever did the plans, that you had counted the bathrooms correctly.
All right, I'm just going to do this really quick. Sorry to take your time.
That added up to 6.5.
Yeah. 6 full, 1 half.
Six and a half, correct.
Okay. All right, do you have the,
I do have the form.
okay. So Mr. Vincent is going to give you the request for a continuance form.
Okay. I have any time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys, really appreciate it.
All right. Oh, actually, first,
We have
but,
to-
so we need to actually vote. So now
You should just vote yes, just to
the
make it
applicant,
simple.
the applicant has requested a continuance. How does the board wish to proceed?
Well, I'll make a motion to continue to the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor? All right. So we'll see you on the 6th.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
You're welcome. The next item on our agenda is the petition of Sadiq Shaikh, 12 Naples Avenue, seeking a variance to reduce the minimum lot size requirement from 12,000 square feet to 11,218 square feet at 12 Naples Avenue.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening. Can you just identify yourself for the record?
Sure, thank you very much. My name is Sadiq Sheikh. I have been living in Woburn since 1981. In this particular location that I've been living since 1985. I have 2 children. They both on and got education. They become a pharmacist from Woburn. And I have 5 grandchildren. And me and my wife are senior citizen. We've been living since 1985 in this house, and there is a paper street was there. Originally, I was living 15 North Maple Street, right behind these things. We bought the house in 1984. My son was born, but there was a trucking operation was going on, 1060, and we couldn't sleep. My son got really disturbed, was underage. We had to sell the house, and we had opportunity to move up right here. That house has a 23,000 some square foot, and now it's converted into 2 houses there. So, as you know that my family's got expanded, and we are getting old. We felt that things, and after 7-year hard work, we got the paper street acquired from land court. So right now is the first lot is 12,066, and another lot missing 782 square foot. It's a difficult situation, but I felt that we've been staying for a long period of time, and we will try our humbly request to you guys to consider that.
So
It
the,
has a lot of frontage, more than 300 feet for front and back. The only problem was little slope, but we can adjust that, the house dwelling.
are you done? I didn't want to interrupt you because
No,
I
I'm
thought
done.
I
I'm done.
interrupted you. Okay,
I'm done.
all right.
I'm sorry about
No,
that.
no worries.
I'm not, I'm not a professional speaker.
No worries at all.
I appreciate it.
All right, so my understanding is that you are asking the board to grant a variance to, from the zoning requirement that a residential lot have 12,000 or more square
12,000
feet.
per lot.
Okay, and this one is 11,200 and,
Yeah, the
18
first one
square
is just came out 12,066, but there is no way that the surveyor can do that. And it's like, it's the biggest lot in that street. If you look at my right, is 7,000 square foot right here. And we've been maintaining this situation. I've been paying a tax for, since 1985, since I bought it, that situation. We proved this thing in the land court that we maintain all this stuff on it because there was initially when we moved in right here, a lot of people used to dump a lot of stuff in that area because the hill is right here. So I think and all the neighbors I contacted and we told them they were happy about this. I have my immediate neighbor is still here, he's in a favor. My next neighbor is right here to do. I'm just simply requesting, I do know that the rules is rules, 12,000, but just shy of 782 square foot. And my back, 15 North Maple Street had a similar situation on it, which is I'm the one who was owner of right here, I saw that. Mr. William Clark at the time, who was my street neighbor, I had a discussion with him. But at the time, my grandchildren were not there. Right now, I have my son has 3 daughters, and my daughter has a son, and right here. And my passing, it will be easier. We're not selling a house. We are just giving both children one house.
okay. So under the statute that governs the relief that you're requesting, the zoning board, we would need to make a finding that there is some hardship that relates to the soil, shape, topography of the lot that essentially justifies the
I can tell.
reducing the
I can tell
12,000.
you right here, if you look at this house in a hill, its shape is right here. It's sloping, the whole house. So we have a very little right here, things right here. The whole, it's like a long strip and a backhand. That's why my first house, I had to get a front variance from 25 to 30 feet to 15 feet, something like that, initially when 1985, when I built the house on it, because of the slope has been right here.
So how does, what connection to the lot size does the slope have?
We had to do, engineer has to do something at 1985 in order to fit that split entry house, the one we have, right?
Oh, for your other house? No, my question is,
This one house has this similar situation. The whole strip is right here, is a sloping in a backhand.
right, let me,
And also, it was another lot, this merge in, with this paper street is around a 5,000 square foot. That was deeded in since way before 1950 or something. But that lot alone was not sufficient to build any house on it right here. There was an immediate 4,900 square foot land. The city had it in 1985, because at the time I didn't need it, so I didn't buy it. But the people who are big trucking, they had a situation, they bought it. Mr. Rocketfall, I think he died, so I approached them. But they are having probate things and other stuff on it, so they are not interested things right here. They are immediate butters. If I could have bought it right here, then it would be no problem out square footage point of view. I fully aware of the situation, ma'am, what you're saying. I just humbly requesting this my unique situation, my family situation, and we've been very loyal to the city. As a matter of fact, my son, his name is Sajid. He was such a good student in a basketball, so he's I don't know how many minutes you can put the hoops right here, still there. So he called me and said, "Hey, Woburn is my town." Pharmacist.
Any members of the board have any questions?
Yeah, I had one. Could you just elaborate a little bit about, I see the portion of Virginia Avenue eliminated by court order. When did that happen?
2020.
So you purchased a portion of that?
Yeah, land court, yeah. This Paper Street, the Virginia Avenue. The case ran for almost 10 years because of COVID. It was a lot of right here. And judge has asked exactly the same question the ma'am had asked, hardship. And there was one of the proud moment, the judge said that the Paper Street is our freedom fighter used as a horses and other stuff on it. So they were looking for passionate person. How do you pass and how do you pro right here? So we proved this situation. We've been living a long time. We're taking care of the.
So if you purchased 720
Yeah.
feet, or whatever it is, if you
Yes,
purchased
yes.
that much more
The Paper
of
Street
that,
got, that is why, once I got Paper Street, then before Paper Street, I had we couldn't build even the 5,000 square foot. And the original house, what I had, a 15,750. So I could do duplex then, but, we wanted to give the family a separate home.
so if you're standing on Naples Ave in that big vacant lot,
It's a huge lot. You can't miss it. People are
is,
saying you
so-
can put it 2 hours.
portion to the right, as you're facing from Naples Ave, looking to the rear, the portion to the right of Virginia Ave, the
Right.
Paper Street,
Right,
it cuts in.
exactly. It's a diagonal, 45 degrees angle.
So- And I see it's number 19 Virginia Avenue, Martha Gonzalez. So is there a house in there, or is it set back? Because I couldn't see it from the road.
There's no house there.
Okay, so it's just land that's owned?
Yeah, this is the only house is mine, is that the one 12,066 square foot, and then after everything is open till on the right side.
So it says number 19 Virginia Avenue, Martha Gonzalez, on the plot plan.
Yeah, and it's also shown on the GIS web map.
So it's just that someone owns that property, but there's no house there? Is
No.
that-
It's
What if there was a house? How would they access
Well,
it?
that could be Louisiana Ave.
Louisiana, that was up and right here.
I'm sorry?
Could be Louisiana Ave, not Virginia Ave.
Well, it says
Yeah, it could be 19 Louisiana.
Yeah.
Virginia Ave.
You look on this drawing. There's Virginia, right? There's 12, Virginia. Yep, and that's this corner right here. So these people would access the house right here.
So that must be wrong.
No? As Virginia, yeah.
Okay.
Virginia's, I think, a full street, and then it turns into a paper street. So Virginia will come up here,
Yep.
and then bang up here.
Let me ask, is there anyone in the audience who cares to be heard in connection with this request for a variance at 12 Naples Ave? Hi, if you could identify yourself, please.
Okay, my name is Girish Patel.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
My name is Girish Patel. I live in 11 Naples Avenue, Crossbomb.
Yes, sir.
11 Naples Avenue, Girish Patel.
So right across the street.
Yeah, cross the street. So, I don't have any problem, anything, because house going build other side, so
So you support the request for the
Yeah.
variance? All right. Thank you. Do you have any other information you'd like to share with the board?
I don't know anything other things. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time.
Got some comments. Mr. Sheik, when you were here 3 years ago, I kind of remember that this board had denied you the
Yes,
variance then.
yes.
You had counsel at that,
Mark Salvat,
Mark Savella, who's now the city solicitor.
yes. I did not, I did it, everything is my own, and I was aware of the situation on it. I wasn't at the time. But since then, a lot of things happened in my family.
Right, but since then, if I may ask you, he has become the city solicitor, you do not have the council there. At the time, I had asked him, was that there was any talk of these lots going from 12,000 square feet down to 10,000 square feet, or there was any talk of 100 feet of frontage going to 75 feet of frontage, and he, at that time, said there wasn't. I was just wondering if you, since 2022, have maybe reached out to anybody in that regard to see if there could be any movement within the city of the changing of the law?
To be honest with you, was my part. After the meeting, my son got sepsis disease, and we were all family were involved in right here. We never had a contact with Mark, and once I got a contact about 6 months ago,
He was city solicitor,
then
right?
he said that I'm sorry, I'm working for city now. He
Have you
said,
reached out to your local alderman to ask him, or excuse me, your city council now, if
I never.
they've ever considered
I-
changing the zoning for
To be
that?
honest with you, this is the one, I am the first one to come in right here and asking right here to do that. I don't know how to say right here. We are always flexible, okay? I had a very good, when I came in as an immigrant, Mr. Rabbit, I met him first time, and he
No,
supported.
that's okay.
So I'm
in
just
other words,
saying-
you didn't reach out to anyone, you haven't heard
No, I
anything
did
back
not,
on
sir,
any
I did
type of
not,
change?
I
That's
did
all
not.
I wanted to
No, I
know.
did not. I apologize, you know,
No
it
need
was.
to apologize.
It was true information that what you are telling me.
All right, so, Mr. Sheik, I'm going to give you my viewpoint. So the standard for a variance is really high. It's a very harsh test, and there's case law that says having an undersized lot is not a hardship. It's the size of the lot that is at issue here, and that's because the zoning requires 12,000 square feet instead of 12,000. I don't know if you were here during the previous petition, but one thing I want to point out to you is you own an incredible amount of property.
Me?
Yeah. Right? You own Lot 2A?
No.
Oh, so who owns it?
Which one?
The one that you're looking for the variance on?
I own the Virginia Avenue,
Yeah?
the one, and Paper Street, plus this lot.
Right. The lot that says, that's identified as Lot 2A?
Yes,
Okay. So you own Lot 2A,
yes,
and you own the lot where number 12 Naples Avenue is. So
Yeah.
right now, they're two separate lots. if you combine them, you will have one lot that is over, what, 23,000 square feet?
No. No, all the, combine all the lot,
Yeah?
it comes out 23,000,
Right.
200 something.
Right. Isn't that what I
Everything-
just said? You would own one lot, there's more than 23,000 square feet. And you are in an R2 zone.
Right,
So you could convert your existing house to a two-family house because you are in an R2 zone.
correct.
So you have an opportunity to maximize the use of your real estate to achieve the objectives that you want to achieve without a variance. So I don't think you meet the standard for a variance.
May I say something?
You may,
The
of course.
only thing is, my wife wished to give our passing to both children separate deed.
I can't
I-
offer any opinion
I
on
understand
that.
you can't
I'm
help
just
me.
telling you,
I
I'm giving you
understand.
my
I
feed point.
I understand, but
Okay.
I'm speaking with my heart, okay?
Absolutely. But
So-
I'm just one person, so there are 5 people who are going to vote. I just needed to tell you, I wanted you to understand my
No.
rationale. I'm
When
going to
I
vote
came in-
against
When I
it.
came in, I did research, and I think in 1985, this is changed right here. And if it is going to be a 2,000 or 1,000 or right here, I wouldn't be. But just look the 782 square foot and having this situation on it, I just try to humbly request. I may not have any ground to stand on it, I realize. But I
totally get it.
I just wanted to
Sure.
let you know.
So let me ask, how does the board wish to proceed in connection with this request for a variance?
Again, I wanted to add too, that since you came in 2022, we've had at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 different petitions where people have either smaller lots or they don't have the frontage. I think one was on Cambridge Road. There was one over further on the west side, I think Mr. Salvati was the attorney for as well, that we denied.
Silver Mine?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's at least 2 there, and I voted against those. In your petition, I voted for it.
Thank you.
Back in 2022.
Thank you.
But this time, I have to uphold the will of the board on how they voted back in 2022, and I will not be voting for this. We're seeing too much of this coming in now.
Well,
The chair makes a good point. You could make that into a two-family. I didn't even think about that, but, thank you.
Yeah, I'm very sympathetic to your plight. You know, I think one of the things is that without looking at the property, it goes only about maybe 30 feet from the street, and then there's that big runoff.
correct.
So it almost like it just drops off.
Yes.
So one of the issues would be that even if the variance were granted, there would be multiple other problems, because the frontage, I mean, you'd have to build, anything that you would build would have to be right on the street.
Architect was talking about, instead of building house straight, they were putting slightly angled.
Because it's, the actual, what you can see from the street is just, very thin. I mean, it stretches wide, but not deep.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. And so, but in terms of, we like to look at plans as well. If we.
Please do, if you want to continue.
Because if we say.
Or if you want to visit right here, we'd be
Yeah.
most welcome to.
But if we say, okay, that you don't need 12,000, just, as a preemptive kind of decision, we're going to have all kinds of people coming in and just say, well, we have 10,000, we have 8,000, and we don't make the ordinance, but the ordinance is there for us. And so that's what, like I say, I'm sympathetic to your plight, but I can't support it as it's proposed.
So, Mr. Shake, in order for you to get the relief that you want, 4 of the 5 board members would need to vote in favor of it, and there doesn't seem to be that, I don't think you have the support.
So let me ask you one question. Since I will have more than 23,000 square foot right here in this R2 zone, technically I can make a two-family right here by attaching existing house with a garage and put another house next to that.
In order for the board, so that would be a special permit. And when the board rules on special permits, we need to actually see the plans. So we can't give you what's it called? Advisory opinion on how you could structure a two-family. We would need to see a plan.
So that
But you
was
could
with-
probably, I would suggest that you speak with a real estate lawyer or your architect.
I see.
But I need to ask you, do you want I need to ask if there's any motion. So is anyone going to make a motion to approve this?
If the petitioner would like, and we don't have to vote for denial, we can vote for leave to withdraw without prejudice, if you'd like. And that means it's like we didn't even see it, your petition tonight. And you can come back whenever, and, you know.
Let me ask you the question. I'm not so sure if this situation is right here, we may not come again back because we tried second time with the same situation about that. There was nothing changed. Mark Salvati comes in, there was a 782 square foot. Now it's got a 782. I made an effort to buy behind the lot, but the person who died and they are in probate and they cannot do that. So that is not an issue. So I mean, if it's gonna come out negatives, then it's gonna have negatives. So what good purpose to be right here? But if there is another option open to attach the existing house, just like across the street, Murphy did it, and I seen everybody has done that thing. We can attach and build another house right here and make a duplex on it right here. And that required all the square footage and all that stuff on it. That would be possible.
Well, yeah, I don't know, you'll have to check, like,
Check with Ray.
your architect, your builders, and.
Yes, yes.
But here tonight, we can just vote to leave to withdraw without prejudice.
Yeah, so if it's
So-
gonna be negatives right here and I cannot get a forward, then definitely I would like to withdraw that.
Right.
And I want to thank you for everybody's asking
course.
question. I just didn't mean to be, I thought was, and also another reason why I came in, because behind this, the one you said, I apologize if I don't like to bring it up this, because this was my own property, 15 North Maple Street. If you can look and go back, it was a 23,450 square foot. And that was divided into two. So those two lots were not, I sold this property in 1985. So that means the audience, after audience change right here. So I did research and said, geez, this was my own property. And now I got own right here, and I'm putting in situation right here, and that was required less, so let me try it. So there was, the example was there. I brought it up with the city clerk, and he said, yeah, you have a point, because my deed can prove this situation. So it's not like I was just like right here and coming right here and requesting this situation. No, I did not, and I don't want it. And Mr. Mark Salvati, I approached him. Unfortunately, he works for the city, so he cannot.
Sure, absolutely, it would be a complete conflict of interest.
Conflict
for
of
Mr.
interest, he
Salvati
told me.
to-
So he
yes.
has to,
So he was
has to do,
correct
you have to do by
in
yourself
telling
on
you
it.
that.
Since I was knowledge about a subject matter, I said, let me get it right here. So I can withdraw that situation on it. So, and then after I will have my consult the attorney and city and see how we can
Sure.
do without that.
All right, so my understanding is you want to withdraw your request for variance.
Sure.
How does the board wish to proceed?
Make a motion to leave to withdraw without prejudice.
Second.
All in favor of the pending motion?
Aye.
Okay, so that was unanimous. So your application for a variance has been withdrawn. I wish you the best of luck.
I thank you very much,
As you try
everyone.
to figure this
I
out.
appreciate it.
All right, thank you. The next item on our agenda is the petition of Jacon Development LLC, 28 Van Norden Road, Lot 1A, seeking a variance from frontage requirement of 100 feet to 79.9 feet. Hi.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Scott Erickson. I'm with the law firm Perkins and Ansel, here tonight on behalf of the petitioner, Jacon Development LLC. So this is a unique situation that our client finds ourselves in. They were in the process of getting ready to sell this lot that has a pre-existing house on it, built in the 1920s, I believe, renovated since then. But in any event, the neighbor raised a concern about the boundary line, and when we went out with multiple engineers and looked at this, we determined that the entire run of lots from Fletcher to the railroad on Van Norden is short about 20.1 feet. So over all of these lots, there's some missing land. That dates back to the creation of these lots, which I think was in 1915. There was a plan put on record, and since then, it's just sort of been going along. Obviously, this creates a significant hardship not only for our client, potentially for all of the lot owners on Van Norden. There are, potential encroachment issues, certainly description issues affecting all of these parcels, or potentially affecting all of these parcels. When our client looked at this, we talked about a possible solution where they become sort of a sacrificial lamb, and where the lot lines don't, it's not all 20 feet on one lot, where it's really spread out over this entire run, and so it would impact all of them. We could prepare a solution that affects only our client, but obviously it's a hardship. That's not the hardship of his making, of course. The hardship exists back from the 1915 plan being incorrect. But in any event, what we're trying to do is save what could be a significant land court undertaking and title insurance issues and all of that. These are, frankly, 1 in 100 year type situation, so extremely unique. It does relate to the shape of the lot. We're missing feet, so the shape isn't what anybody thought it was. We believe, based on our client sort of taking all of this, going down to approximately an 80-foot frontage, that, it's sort of the optimal situation for the neighborhood. So not only not detrimental, but in fact allows everyone else to maintain the status quo as it has been for decades.
So I'm confused about what exactly you're asking this board to do.
So we are asking for a variance for the lot 1A, 28 Van Norden, to go from frontage of 100 feet to 79 feet to absorb this missing distance over that run.
So you've given me 2 plans, one of which has a stamp on it, and that shows Lot 1A as having 100 feet of frontage.
Right, because everyone thought it had
Sure.
100.
Then you've given me an unstamped plan that shows 79.9 feet of frontage on Lot 1A, and apparently, and I don't know if this is in real life or not,
Yeah.
but you're telling me that, well, we'll make up that 20 that really belongs to 30 Van Norden Road. That's really should be our property, but we'll let them have it if you say that we can have a 79.9.
No, so it doesn't quite work that way, Madam Chair. So that 20 is the total distance over about 9 lots that run from Fletcher to the railroad, right?
Oh.
But what we're saying is we'll keep that boundary line where it is. But from a frontage standpoint, we need to go down from 100, which everyone thought it was, right? All of these on the 1915 plan that is of record, these are shown as, the corresponding values that are listed on the stamp plan that you have. But we're going to absorb that full 20. And it's not changing the lot line in terms of the neighbor's boundary. It's just reducing our frontage. Now, I know that the neighbors are here tonight, and our client had reached out to, I think, everyone on the street with an overview of this issue. We shared a letter outlining the concerns and the finding, and we welcome input from those neighbors, but that's the intention.
So you're telling me that somebody did a survey and I guess it's whoever stamped this plan, that Mr. Danahy did a survey, and Mr. Danahy has determined that amongst, how many lots are these? 1, 2, 3,
There's
4.
9 lots, I believe.
9 lots. There's a 20-foot difference between what's shown on this unstamped plan and what exists in reality, because somebody screwed something up back in 1915.
Right.
So even if the board is amenable to this solution, what's to say that 20 years from now, when somebody else does a survey and says, oh, you know what? No, it was actually Danahy screwed up. It really wasn't like,
Sure, so we
how is
do
this
have, I
gonna
do have
fix
the
stuff
engineer.
forever?
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to jump in there. We do have the engineer here tonight. Nick, maybe you can comment on the process for finding the bounds this time around. That might be helpful for the chair and the board to hear.
Because there's no evidence, no offense, right? You've given us a stamped plan and said, trust us.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Hi. If you could identify yourself, please?
Project manager on this. Kevin Dennehy, our PLS, is on vacation, so he was not able to come. Manager's approach with this plan and just
Sure, do you only have one copy?
I think this copy was submitted to you. This is a copy that
Okay, but no,
everybody has.
everyone needs to, so that's what, so if you only have one copy, everybody on the board needs to see it.
I think that is the submission plan.
That is the plan that everybody has.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
I could just speak about
Could
the
you hold
plan.
that up one more time, just so I can see it?
I have a smaller version.
It's,
You should have, it's the plan that's not
I
stamped.
think it's the submitted plan.
All right, the one that's not, so the
unstamped.
large one we have that's not stamped.
It's not stamped.
Okay.
The reason this plan is not stamped is basically just a sketch showing all our findings. So what we did here for this neighborhood, we actually look for physical evidence of occupation, and we look for monuments. So we were actually able to find 3 monuments at the intersection of Fletcher and Van Orden. And these monuments helped us to establish the first lots at the beginning of the whole subdivision. Then we were able to find monuments that are on the intersection of Van Orden and Harold. I think that's the street that goes northerly. And based on these monuments that we located, we just used those to find plans of record and put these plans together. So can I just show you what we did?
Want to hand that to the clerk? Oh, you want to lean over my shoulder and point to this?
You actually can't come up on
That's,
the
that's not gonna work.
Why do they need to see this?
Well, we can describe, maybe we can describe it, Nick.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make it more challenging for you, Mr. Sands, but everybody on the board needs to get the information you're trying to communicate.
So then we had a plan of record. It's from 1915, and then plan starts at that
Mr.
intersection.
Sands, if I stop you there, did you submit that 1915 record to us?
That's not part of the application package,
It was
no.
not
But that is a
submitted.
recorded plan, and we can certainly get
No,
that.
I was just wondering
Yeah.
if I had it or not, if it was part of it, then we must see where the screw-up was, something like that, from
Yeah, no,
1915.
Mr. Barris, it's not in your package.
Okay, thank you.
It was not submitted. We had quite a few plans for this neighborhood. We can provide all the copies. So started off of those monuments, 3 monuments located at that intersection, and from these 3 monuments, we actually created all the parcels. There are additional plans that we can submit, and these plans show that frontage for all of these parcels should be 100 feet. And this is how we started creating we created our lot, as shown here, 1A and 2A. But then you can see that iron pipe northerly on Van Norden and Harold. And in dashed lines, we have another plan created by Land Court. Again, we can submit that plan.
So you're referencing the land court case 26132-A?
Yes, correct. So that's another plan created in dashed. and that creates the properties northerly from Van Norden on a private way 40 foot wide. That plan shows a monument that will be at the last lot on Van Norden. So you can see there's monument not found. But the math would actually position that monument right at that location.
Right, so there were 3 monuments not found.
3 monuments that are shown on the land court plan
Yep.
that we looked for, couldn't find. Didn't find a monument right at that location, but we found fence. So we were somewhat, again, physical evidence of occupation. We were somewhat very confident that this land court plan would actually create a monument right at the location. So then we have another plan, 815 of 1982. That's for the last parcel. I believe it would be lot number 32. And found a monument with an iron rod, half-an-inch iron rod at the south easterly corner. So again, I was somewhat confident about the position of this plan based on physical evidence of occupation and monuments. And then we are going to lot number, Van Norden number 30. So again, frontage 100 feet. And when we create this lot from the westerly side, this is where we see the overlap of the 2 properties. So coming from east, coming from west, we came up with a 20-foot overlap.
Okay, but as I understood it, that 20-foot overlap there is just kind of like a placeholder in order for your client to say, we'll take the hit on this 20 feet. So let's just all agree that the frontage on Lot 1A is 79.9.
Well, I guess when you say placeholder, the 20.1 is, I think, the missing linear footage.
Right, but I thought
over that
it's
entire-
over all 9,
Correct,
right?
exactly.
It's over all 9 lots.
That's right. It's not right there as shown on the sketch plan, but
Yep.
we're showing it there because we're saying if you reduce our frontage, that's what it looks like. But yes, you're right. So it's not, the 20.1 feet is not concentrated in that area between Lot 1A and the neighboring lot to the west.
You're not changing the property lines.
No. No, that's exactly what we'd like to avoid, right? We want to make sure that everyone else doesn't have to do anything.
Well, but I'm not convinced that that's going to do anything, because 10 years from now, somebody else could do a survey and say, oh, guess what? You're supposed to have 100 feet of frontage, but there was a screw-up, and I think you're really short 5 feet. So even by doing this, I am not confident that it's a permanent fix, nor am I confident that without an evidentiary hearing and so my reaction to this is I appreciate that you're trying to figure out a way to fix this, but I don't think it's the zoning board's place to make up a fake fix when it affects 9 properties.
No, and of course, Madam Chair, we're not asking the zoning board to make up a fake fix or make up anything, frankly. What we're asking for is the frontage relief that we would need to say, okay, this entire stretch of road is missing 20 feet, and we are going to show 79 feet here so that everyone else's, frontage would just stay the same. That's not correcting any title issues. I mean, frankly, you're right, there's no way the zoning board could do that, but the zoning board does have the authority to grant a variance on the frontage.
Yeah, but you're giving me a stamped plan that you've just told me is not accurate. So how can I?
But, Madam Chair, may I? The stamp plan is not accurate and hasn't been for 110 years, right? So that's been the case since 1915 when it was created. That's what we're saying. So you're right. I mean, it's.
Well, I don't know if there's been any stamp plan since 1915, right?
Well, I don't know. I
110
presumably.
years.
presumably there have been mortgage plans, at least plot plans probably associated.
Yeah, but the mortgage plans expressly say that they're not
Sure.
accurate, and you can't rely on them.
We haven't looked at really whether there are other lots here that had, specific plans that represented anything other than what the 1915 plan says. I think frankly, everyone has gone off of that 1915 plan, which is incorrect.
Well, again, according to
Meridian.
Mr. Sands and Mr. Danahy,
Madam Chair, just on that stamp plan, he does have the two dimensions listed. 79.9 on the inside of the property, and then on the outside it shows 100 feet. So it is the same as the larger. So there's actually two.
right, but this is a fiction.
Excuse, I don't, Can you please-
What's the goal
I don't know.
of all of this? I mean, do you,
think that-
is there some plan, there's some plans in the future of expanding the house or something, or what?
No,
what's
there's no plans to expand the house.
What's the
but-
goal then?
I
For
mean,
why?
this property was just purchased, right?
Our client, our
Your
client.
client just bought this property in January,
Correct.
and is it trying to sell?
Yes. And it was in that process of trying to sell that this came up.
Sure, so your goal is to get that Lot 2A to comply, is that correct? So you
Lot 1A, well,
could- 1A, you have an existing structure in there anyway, so Lot 2A, you could build a new one, correct? Is that what you're trying to do?
correct, Lot 1A should be a buildable, or 2A should be a buildable lot as well, right?
Well, but 2A is not in front of us. We're
Right.
talking about 1A. And if 1A doesn't have enough frontage, and 1A, right, and 1A, how old's the house on 1A?
1920s.
All right, so it's a pre-existing non-conforming structure. Why do you need a variance?
Well, again, the idea is we have this 20-foot discrepancy over 9 lots that we really don't want to continue to exist. It came up in the context of the sale because the neighbor's concerned, obviously rightfully, about the boundary lines,
Right.
right? And so we really want to adjust that boundary line so that we can address, this going forward, sell a lot, show a buyer, this is how we've fixed the issue, and hopefully satisfy the neighbor. And again, I believe one of the neighbors or multiple neighbors are here tonight. We would like to hear from them.
I'm sure we will.
If I may ask another question regarding this line here. So Lot 1A and Lot 2A, so that lot line is already recorded in the Register of Deeds and everything like that?
Which lot line?
The lot, lot line between 1A and Lot 2A.
With that weird jog out?
Weird jog, is
Yeah.
that already recorded?
That plan was approved by the planning board.
Recorded within Registry of Deeds?
Yes.
All right.
So you recorded, so Lot 1A, you recorded, it now says 79.9, correct?
No.
No, that's the new plan. So it says 100 because that's what everybody thought.
So then, what about, do we have an aerial?
I don't know that
Yes.
an aerial was specific.
No? Okay, so the lot,
The GIS, one, not really in here, I tried looking Google Maps to find it too.
well, yeah, I have something. So what about 26? So the GIS map shows that the lot next to, I'm directionally challenged, but I'll say to the east of Lot 28 is 26, right? So
Right.
26 Harold Ave.
Then yeah, Harold, I think
It says 26 Harold Ave on the Van Norden plan. The one that's not stamped. So are you telling me that the frontage on that lot really is 87.62, or that, everyone thought that was 100
So,
feet as well?
so we provided you with a stamp plan, a plot plan, and we also provided you with this sketch. So the sketch is really provided just to explain all our math and all our findings. that lot line between 28 and 26 was really established by the two monuments that we found. So there's a fence that was located. There's also a monument found on southwesterly side of the 26. And there's an iron rod or iron pipe that was found right in the middle of the property. So these are the two monuments that we located, and we held that for the line.
All right, you know what, I'm sorry, because I referenced the 87.62, but that's only to the angle, and then there's
Right.
another 10.9.
Right.
So,
And that somewhat confirmed that that frontage is around, we measured it a little less, but it's around 100 feet. So the very first lot, as on that plan from 1915, would show frontage of 106, and then, so we found a monument there, that confirmed, then we found a second monument for the second property, that confirmed to be 100. So if we measured along that property, along the side of the road, those 100, we would really get to a good distance and a property line between 26 and 28.
okay, so my question then is, the frontage at 26 Harold Avenue, based on this sketch, is 98.52. Does everybody really think it's 100? Because the 1915 plot plan says it's 100?
We found physical, evidence of occupation monuments. That's why we felt confident that the property line should be there.
Okay, so the answer is, you think they really have 98.52 feet of frontage, even though they probably bought it and all the plans probably says they have 100 feet. And I'm going to guess that that's about how much everything else is off, and when you add them all together, it comes up to 20.10.
Right, it's about 3 feet a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Less, I guess. My math's not
Yeah,
strong.
no worries. All right, let me ask, is there anyone else who cares to be heard in connection with this request for a variance at 28 Van Norden Road?
Callahan, 32 Van Norden Road. If the board would like to take the 1915 drawing, I have it here. This tract of land has been transferred several times over. I think the applicant has information that he's not come to the board in good faith, honestly, in my opinion. There was a drawing that the owner conveyed to the owner, current, prior to the subdivision in April, that depicted from a different surveyor the lot 30, which separates my lot, which is the end, up against the canal. And if you look at it, the dimensioning from his proposed building, the structure, to the existing structure on lot 28, which is lot 1A, were dimensioned. They used that for a building permit for the addition on the existing house on the rear, but then they went out and resurveyed. All right, and they want to refer to the 1915 drawing. And each one of those lots going up there, the applicant is correct, it's 106 and 8 lots at 100. Okay? On the rear lot line, I haven't heard any conveyance of information for what they traversed on the back side. Alfred Street was relocated and redesigned by Mass Highway. Okay?
Yeah, that wasn't too long
Doing
ago, was it?
such, they brought it up to where the Baldwin Landing / Chinese restaurant is now currently. That lot for the Chinese restaurant up to the back of that building used to be the property that I own. That was subdivided in '82. Okay? Tom Mernon, the city engineer, was the engineer of record, stamped drawing. And I also did the property across the street on Harold Ave and Van Norden Road. one side of the street on our 5 houses up there. Our side is Van Norden, the opposite side is Harold Ave, so don't try and figure it out, it's a mess. The lots and pins that are referenced, I took a walk down after seeing this document, and I'd like to hear the engineer's statement in front of the board that they uncovered pins that are beneath the surface.
So, Mr. Callahan, if you could direct all,
Sorry,
sorry,
I'm sorry.
all of your questions to me, and then I can ask the applicant to
There's a
respond.
bound on Fletcher Road that I went with the Lot 30 owner's surveyor, unable to find it. The pins along Fletcher Road are buried beneath surface, and coming up Harold Ave on the lower half, that's all considered Harold Ave on both sides. Those pins were not found, they were buried also. Okay, and they're buried beneath asphalt. All right, and those 3 houses that are referred to have either been new and/or greatly renovated. Okay, the property.
Can you, I'm sorry though, but you know what? So you're very familiar
I
with this
am
area.
ultra familiar
I am
with
looking at a plan
it. Folks really
that
need
has-
the 1915
that
drawing.
has, you know, a few lot numbers on it, and then some that don't. So you lost me when you're talking about what houses are new down at the bottom, and
I understand. Unfortunately, you're at a loss because you don't have the 1915 drawing to refer to, which I have here, if you want to pass it around. The
Madam
area is
Chair,
a
I'd like
mess.
to take a look at that. I was wondering about that earlier.
Okay.
all right, I'm gonna suggest that we take a brief recess, and I'm gonna ask Mr. Vincent to photocopy them so that we can all, so I'd ask for a motion for a brief adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're just gonna adjourn for a few
Yeah,
minutes.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, I'd ask for a motion to return from our adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, we are back. We now all have a plan dated November 16th, 1915, that was recorded in Middlesex County. All right, so, Mr. Callahan, I don't know if you need to start over or what, but now that we have the plan,
I will start back, I'll regurgitate some of this. So the highlighted lot is my lot, which abuts the railroad/canal. And the back lot is the Baldwin Office Park development. I think it's number 7. I could be wrong, it's number 7 or 12. And the Baldwin Landing will be in that corner where Main Street, Elm intersect the railroad in that corner, to give you some bearings. The roadway get reconfigured right by the letter R in Alfred Street, the word street, okay? And it loops down to near the rear of my lot as it originated back in 1915.
so it now curves around there?
Correct. It's,
Okay.
okay, to give you some bearing.
Just through the chair, in the two lots that, could you point out for the board the two lots that are in question?
2 lots are in question. If you want to read my head scratch, they would be the Ws or Ms, okay?
18 and 19, or?
That's correct, 18 and 19. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Going through the land records on the rear lots of Fletcher Street to verify the purchase and sale of the A.A. Clement property as shown on this, the dimensioning was fairly accurate to what was written in the deeds. They did not give you bearings. Okay, so some of this is lacking some data to close it out easily, but can still be worked out. Each lot, as you can see, they're all parallel, 100-foot width, 600 feet on the front, 603 on the rear, from pretty much the crotch on the rear lot line, which goes on Harold Ave, number 21 to 16. 603, and you should have 100 on the front, every lot except for the corner lot of 106, which is a corner of Harold and Fletcher Road. What I was referring to earlier, when I think I lost everyone, was on Fletcher Road, and on the drawing that the applicant refers to, lot 25, 24, and 25 are new houses. And those properties were subdivided, and the developments are less than 10 years old. The pins and the monuments that refer to are either no longer or buried. The ones that are on the corner of Harold and Fletcher, and the first lots on Fletcher, on Harold, I'm sorry, 23 and 24, are beneath asphalt. And as of yesterday, the asphalt hasn't been removed to verify their location. Okay. Coming up the lot number 22 in conversation, I know it's only hearsay, the applicant of lot 23, while doing redevelopment, there was a conflict with the land on the rear lot line. What a surprise, right? They worked out some type of an agreement. I'm interested to see where these properties lay in relationship to the 1915 drawing, okay? My lot has been subdivided. I've seen the verbiage of it, but none of it really closed out properly, in my mind.
None of it is really what?
Closed out properly. So in other words, there's a 100-foot lot. Property is sold So the property is actually taken for taxes, and then there's no transaction from the city of Woburn to the previous owner. Parents sold it to daughter, son across the street. A lot of legwork I put into this, to say the least. And I'd like to see where the engineer's findings are, okay? I know the board is challenged with this. There are a few things that I would say in regards to this. A, I don't think this board has the jurisdiction to weigh in on this
Yeah, I would tend to
as
agree
a,
with you.
as a zoning matter. The drawing that you have in front of you does not show the proposed lot, house on lot 2A, and that's a pork chop lot. Okay,
What proposed house on 2A?
well, there's a house going in lot 2A, it's all staked out. That's what's missing part of the equation here. You're talking about lot 1A and trying to convey a wedge of land to pacify the lot, sorry.
No worries.
Which would be lot 17. Their property right now, as the applicant's surveyor laid out, that house is on their property. Brand new house, 10 years old.
Wait, which house are you referring to?
On lot 17, they have torn down the original house that was there.
So we're talking 30?
30,
Yeah, you know what, because I thought I had seen something, and then I went looking, and I
it
didn't
is
find
on, it
it.
is on the applicant's drawings, I believe. The back corner, back southwest corner of that house is actually on the
Oh,
drawing.
okay,
if-
so where it says existing
If the
dwelling?
applicant's surveyor is accurate,
Yep,
okay? It also puts lot 30's lot line 5 feet from my side lot line on my east side. Okay. I have a piece of rebar witness stake. I don't consider it to be the bound. When I bought the property, it was recently subdivided for the Baldwin Landing tract of land. I had a fence there that was some 4 feet further south. I left that witness stake there, which is a very true line from what owner of lot 30 and myself knew to be the lot line, and we have no disagreement over that, which he set his bounds from in a line with our surveyor. How it was determined, I'm not exactly sure, but it matched up to what I knew, was conveyed through walkthrough from the,
did you have your property surveyed at any point in time?
at 82 was subdivided, and it was surveyed by the previous city engineer, Tom Mernon. He also did lot across the street also, which is a land court lot. I think that there's more due diligence that's required here. Haven't seen anything, like I said, from the findings from the applicant on their discrepancies coming up from Fletcher Road all the way to the railroad bed, where the lot lines are in their mind. Seen some in front of our houses, on the 4 houses on our end of the street. But if you look at the 1915 drawing, the lots are not consistent at 100 feet in width. All right, there's a 21-foot bus there that we're aware of, but also going down the length of it. Each lot gets 5 feet smaller in dimension, starting with the railroad bed on my west lot, side lot at 350. But if you look at either one of the applicant's drawings on either side, those do not coincide. It should be an increment of 5 feet. 350 down to 330 which is a lot that has all its pins in place, okay, for the four corners of the lot, which is at the crotch of Harold Ave and Van Horn, okay, and Fletcher. The concern, I see a lot of practical applications here that are being overlooked, in my opinion. On my neighbor at 26, which is, to make sure I get the lot number right, lot number 20, okay? He has all four corners of his lot staked since the 70s. When his father bought the property. The applicant chose to use a found bound on the rear corner, on the southwest corner, and use the midpoint along the fence point, on the fence line, but did not care to use the front lot line bound that was found also. So your 3 points in a line took 2 of the 3. And there's an 11-inch discrepancy between what was existing on a fixed bound tract of land, okay, on all four corners, and they only chose to use 2. And if you look at the angles for these, they're not, they don't add up. If you're reducing down by 5 feet per tract of land on a trapezoid, they should all be consistent, okay? And the dimensioning is just not there on any one of these lots. So I think there's a lot more effort that needs to be put forward. And it also should reference when the city accepted the streets up there. They have that. And also on Lot 2A, there is an easement in there that is depicted in a land court decision, I believe,
Yeah,
which is on the drawing.
it's on the
but
plans.
that has to be coordinated with the layout of the city. So, like you said earlier, Madam Chair, if the lots are off by a couple feet, well, so isn't that easement. Okay? So that would have to be corrected. To me, it's a little troubling to stand here and 4 or 5 neighbors that are involved, that there's never been an issue, great neighborhood, that I don't particularly care for the approach of this whole thing. The subdivision that I approved, A&R, beginning of April, is all on the applicant's survey. It's based on that survey being accurate. So you're looking at a lot that may or may not have 200 feet to try and subdivide. If, no different than the applicant that was here earlier. They may not have the footage. If they don't have the footage, I expect the board to adhere to the zoning ordinances. If you have any questions, I'm all set. I think I gave you more than enough. I knew enough to come prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Callahan. Well, before you step down, does anybody have any questions or for Mr.
So,
Callahan?
Mr. Callen, Lot 2A, there's already staked out to have a house there, correct?
That is my understanding, that it's staked out.
So
It-
So I guess as far as we're concerned with Lot 1A, why does anything matter to us here? It goes back to what you say, if they were to tear that existing house down on Lot 1A and built a new house, they would have the blessing of a special permit, I would think, instead of a variance. I don't know whether we should get into, that decision would have to be made by the building inspector at some point, right? Are you just here as a petitioner just for us to decide whether or not the frontage is 79.9 and give you a variance for that, or 100 feet?
Only petition, right, before this board is for variance for the frontage for Lot 1A, correct?
Yeah, well, let me just ask it, well, I'm trying to just cut you off.
Just interject. As a direct abutter that may be affected by this if it does go to land court. My neighbor, great neighbor, spent a lot of money, keeps his house up beautifully, And I think he'd be the most impacted, and that's where the wedge of land that's
Sure,
being
that's number
conveyed.
30?
Yes, so he's most affected, okay? I think, I don't want to see the outcome affect him in a adverse way, but I also am opposed to the pork chop lot with the house set back, tucked behind the existing one. I don't care for that layout, it doesn't blend in whatsoever with the neighborhood.
That's not.
But that's not on hand, but
Right, that's an approved A&R.
hand in hand, nor was, when I say good faith, there was 2 known surveys and there was a stamp surveys. And the discrepancy was known before it came in front of the planning board for a subdivision. So I just want to,
Last question, Mr. Gadd. So you would be in favor of this lot 1A to be 79.9 feet, so it won't affect number 30, is that
I
correct?
would be receptive to listening to what's going on with all the engineering and making sure that my interests, along with my neighbors, are not going to be affected, similar to what the chairperson
the
referenced
road.
earlier. I mean, this can come up 10 years from now, and the surveyor does a great job, but he makes mistakes like everyone else.
All right, let me ask, is there anyone else who cares to be heard in, thank you, Mr. Callen. Anyone else who cares to be heard in connection with this request for a variance?
Madam Chair, I don't want to cut anyone else off, but it does sound like, there's some additional information to provide the board.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and just so I've already spoken to the city solicitor about this, because I don't think what you're asking the ZBA to, I think this all needs to be hashed out either in land court, or all of the neighbors figure it out and come to some agreement. We are not equipped to conduct an evidentiary hearing to determine if the survey that you're relying on is correct.
So is an opinion from the city solicitor pending?
No.
Okay, but you posed a question to the city solicitor?
I have discussed something with the city solicitor.
Okay.
And I would certainly ask for a formal opinion from the city solicitor following this, and because I really don't want to waste anyone's time.
Neither do we.
Right.
And I guess that's what I'm getting at, is does it make sense to continue this, have input from the city solicitor, come back to you with additional information, sort of outlining, the surveying analysis here, and arm everyone with more information so that they can make an informed decision?
Well, I don't know whether it makes sense to give us more information so that the city solicitor has it as well, right? Because one of the questions I
sure.
have is, well, big deal, we do this and 10 years later, someone says, oh, look at these, I'm looking at these other lots, and it's just, it bubbles up again.
Right.
So have we really, and I don't know, I'm still kind of, all right, good to know that the real issue is that the structure at number 30 potentially, impinges. But again, I'm left with the question of, if Lot 1A doesn't have 100 feet of frontage, then that house is a pre-existing non-conforming dwelling. So I don't know why you'd even, practically speaking,
Right.
I'm sure there's title insurance involved, but
Well, and the boundary issue, but you're right. I mean, I guess what I'm saying, Madam Chair, is if you've asked for, or you've raised this with the city solicitor, I think it might be appropriate to get that input. Because if this board doesn't feel comfortable granting the relief, they feel that it's a jurisdictional issue, then obviously we would need to address that.
Right.
I don't personally think it is, because I think we're not asking you to correct any title defects here.
yeah, but you're asking us to fix something that isn't really fixing other properties, if there's,
Right.
But again, we've been on the board for a long time, Attorney Parrish and I. First type of this request that's ever come before me.
It's a funky one.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it is a unique situation. Now, I don't think we've heard about these other surveys, they've been of one lot or two lots, but not all the way from Fletcher to the railroad before. And I think, you know, to our knowledge, right, since the 1915 plan, I don't know that that's been done. The fact that the rear boundaries are more or less settled, or, you know, per the gentleman's comments, doesn't mean that, you know, we're not getting something like this along the way. Now, I know he made the comment about these, you know, sort of coming down in 5-foot increments, but it does sound like we just need more information. And so, you know, again, I don't want to cut anybody off
Oh,
tonight.
no, anyone who wants to be heard is going to be heard, because just like Mr. Callahan had some really interesting comments and input, so the more information, the better.
Right.
And this is a public hearing, and if people came here to be
No,
heard,
of course.
they're going to be heard.
But I guess what I'm saying is, you know, I think it would be useful to continue this.
Oh, yeah.
Especially to get the input from, you know, the city solicitor.
Yeah, no, I agree. But so I appreciate
Please.
that. So let me ask, anyone else care to be heard in connection with this request for a variance at Van Norden Road?
Grab this, sis.
Hi, I'm Peter Victoria, and I live in this neighborhood too. I'm number 26, which is next to 2A. Like, I think Jimmy Callahan pretty much covered what I was going to say, but I just want to refer to all this boundary stuff. I have 4 corners that have been marked out. I'm in my parents' house, my mother's still alive. Driving, this has put my mother through a lot because of all the stress with this. He did give us a letter, which I thought was kind of a threatening letter. So I didn't appreciate that from the get-go. But he uses my boundary in the back, but in the front boundary, where the easement is, that boundary there, he's almost a foot onto my property when he staked it out. I have a surveyor plan from 1975 that says I have 100. This does not say 100 here. So
Right. So
something's not...
you're Exhibit A in my argument that this is more complex
Yes.
than...
And I think the angles which you led onto were not right either, if you start going from the canal down. And I think that's where the little wedge is that is in contention here.
Okay. All
But
right.
like I say, I think Mr. Callahan pretty much covered all of what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to say that this, my property, 26, has been surveyed, and he has his stake, the developer, or whoever owns this property at this point, it's over, and that's why I'm concerned too. And it's not just about, he wants to develop the lot, which if he can, but there sounds like there's a lot of going on here that isn't kosher. And I'm a little concerned about the whole neighborhood. I've been there since I was a kid.
Sure. So let me ask you, the stake that you're referring to, there's when it was surveyed, is there a stake now on what you consider your land?
Yeah, that's up front.
And
But
you
he's
said
not
it's-
using that as a reference point.
Oh,
He's
I
using-
apologize. I thought what you said is that when they did all this survey and they put a stake
They did, and
on your property.
yes, they did,
Okay.
yeah. But my stake is further over. And the other 2 boundaries that he refers to on the plan, the middle one, the pipe, is there. The back corner of my lot, which is marked out too, he references those 2 points, but up front, he's not referencing my point of a surveyor that happened back in the 70s.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
So I guess that's all I have, but...
All right, thank you very much.
Mark McDonough. I live at 31 Van Norden Road, which is really across the street from the property. The biggest concerns I have, and I'm not for this at all, I'll get that right up front.
I'm sorry, could you just move a
Over
little?
here, is that good?
Thank you. Just a little closer to the
This
microphone.
guy's kind of intimidating.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you the lawyer we were supposed to call if we had any questions?
If you had any questions.
Yeah, okay. There's a whole bunch of backstory here, and some of it's not pleasant, like Peter said. My biggest concern is if you have the jurisdiction to even, go here. My other concern is I feel like I've got a gun to my head. I'm being asked or being requested to okay this, and if I don't, we're all gonna go to land court, and we're all gonna have to move some houses, and move some fences, and some sheds, and stuff like that. I don't think that's operating in good faith. The fact that they put stakes clearly over into someone else's property, that is not good faith.
Well, no, so I think I need to correct you, because under Massachusetts law, surveyors can stake property.
Oh, no, I understand that.
So
but,
the fact
I
that
guess-
they're saying, hey, this is where the line is, and a stake shows up, they have a right
Right,
to do
and I
that.
do understand that, and
Okay.
I do know that, but if in fact you do something like that, I think it's in good faith to go knock on the door and say, hey, I think we have a discrepancy here. That didn't happen. Bernie came home and said, what the hell's this? And that's not good faith. That's really all I have to offer. Jimmy kind of did a good job. He put a lot of details in there. But the fact that my choice is to agree so that people don't have to go to land court, which I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right at all.
Thank you for your time.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I want to make it extremely clear that our client did not threaten anyone with the land court problem or support the variance. That was certainly not the
Sure,
case.
I am going to ask for copies. I'm going to ask for copies of whatever was sent to the neighbors.
Now, what was communicated was that we've identified an issue that we think impacts all of these lots.
All right, including ones on the other side of the street?
No, just the 9 lots. So I'm not sure why, other than being in a butter, the other individuals on the opposite side of
Sure,
it.
okay, all right, because I was going to ask that,
Right,
didn't,
yeah.
okay.
So, I want to make that exceedingly clear. There's been suggestions of bad faith. None of that is the case. We have a professional surveyor who came out and said, this land, this footage doesn't match.
Yep.
And we've made others aware of that. And I think it does possibly create boundary issues. So we vehemently reject this idea that there's been some pressure or that anyone has a gun to their head. That's certainly not the case. These letters went out, we didn't hear from anyone before this evening. So it's disappointing that that's the case. We frankly would have loved to have had this conversation with some of these folks before the meeting tonight. But I do recognize that there's more information to present to this board, and so we would respectfully request a continuance.
Sure, but let me ask, is everyone who appeared for this hearing who wanted to approach the board had the opportunity to do so? Okay. How does the board wish to proceed?
I'll second.
All right, are there any specific, anyone have any guidance on what additional information the board would like to see in connection with this?
One, to find out if we have jurisdiction on this issue.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it makes sense for me to go ahead and ask for a formal, opinion from the city solicitor now. Honestly, I don't know how long it would take to kind of, and our next meeting is really short because of the scheduling challenges that we had. But, yeah, I will ask the city solicitor for a formal opinion. I just don't know if we're going to have an answer because our next hearing's only 3 weeks away.
Right.
And everybody gets to take a vacation in the summer.
Do they?
Except Member Parish.
So our meeting after that would be September the 20th, would it? If the city solicitor didn't, September 24th? Give me September 17th,
Wouldn't it be
right?
the 17th?
17th?
17th.
So our next meeting is August 6th.
Right.
If you have additional, so I, for one, would like to see whatever communications were sent to
Copy to the clerk
the
right now.
butters. Okay. And I would like a lot more detail on the, you know, because you guesstimated it's really 3 feet, whatever, I mean, whatever, you guys presumably put a ton of effort into this. And so there must be some document that identifies what you think, you know, the real frontage is according to your analysis, compared to, you know, 100 feet. So I'd like to know what, you know, is one lot off by 3 feet, one's off by 18 inches? Is this lot, do you think this lot's off by 2.5? You know, what is it?
Sort of resurvey the 9 lots.
Yeah, show me, you're asking me to rely on this survey. Show me what it found. And so, you know, I appreciate that you kind of like generalized it, but this is way more complex.
It's very complex.
Yeah.
It is very complex, it's very complicated. Surveying is a science of estimation. I think that we did the best we could. I don't think that more survey will help. I don't think we will find anything more. We may have missed one monument, we didn't find one. We never really wanted to set another monument intentionally on your property, but we just didn't see it. We found 2 monuments on your property line. That's why we felt really confident to establish this property line. Unfortunately,
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you please speak in the microphone?
we found 2 monuments between 26 and 28. That's why we felt really confident to establish the property line as we did. Had we known that there's another monument, of course we would have held it, but we just didn't see it or didn't find it. For this particular survey, I think that we did above and beyond. It's not really necessary to do so much survey to create an existing conditions plan for a lot that needs to be subdivided. But then again, because of all the discrepancies that we found, we surveyed here and here and here and here and looked for more monuments and more plans. And I think that we really compiled as much information as we have. We have plans of record that show frontage for 28 to be 200. And when we measured and surveyed, we really ended up with 180 feet. So
No, I hear you. I want to see it. I'm a visual learner, so show me.
I think that our sketch really shows everything that we find. It shows the 100, it shows the 80, shows the overlap. I don't think
No,
that
but again, maybe I'm not being clear. So the plan you gave me condensed all of the discrepancies into one area, and this is not, so I want to make sure I understand this. You're not telling me that Lot 30 only have, I should say 30, Van Norden Road,
Yeah.
only has 80 feet of frontage.
No, we are saying it has 100. We are not taking away any land from anybody else.
Okay.
Lot
but
30.
In real life, so is 30 Van Norden the only one that has 100 and all of the other ones have issues, but not 30?
No,
I see what, Madam Chair, I think that you're saying is we've visually condensed this entire discrepancy from here to here in this one
Correct.
triangular section.
Right. And that's a fiction.
Correct.
Because all of the work that you did showed a missing 20 feet across 9 lots. And I don't know if you got down to the granular level of detail that I think I'm asking you to show me. So show me, well, how much footage do you think Lot 2A has? How much footage do you think 26 Harold Ave has? How much footage do you think 24 Harold Ave has?
Right, so for example, with 26 going around the bend there, that's
Yeah.
shy of 100.
Right.
And we know, based on this plan, how much shy of 100.
Right.
If I'm interpreting Madam Chair correct, you basically want to see that with respect to that
All of
entire
them.
lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think that we are showing that.
I don't think you are.
And I agree. I mean, this is, I'd like to see, isn't there a surveyed plan for each of these properties?
There's none. That's why, so.
Or none?
Well, not for all of them. We didn't find plans for,
There are survey plans for some of these lots. I mean, and we can certainly go back and look at any other plans of record to see if that's instructive as well. I think.
I mean, that's the only legal document.
well, the deeds are.
Can't go by a sketch.
So the deeds are, but the deeds would reference the 1915 plan.
Right, they all go back to that 1915.
Right.
That's really the challenge, you know.
So that's why we go by the 1915 plan. And there are some additional plans yes, we have some additional, we have a stack of plans, yes.
I'm sure you do.
So it sounds like it might be useful to take the September date.
I think that probably makes sense. I think that's probably more realistic, if you're amenable to that.
That would be fine.
All right, so we have a form that we ask everyone to fill out when requesting a continuance. So, Mr. Vincent will give that to you. No, I don't think it makes sense for us to rush and pass, yeah, electronics fine.
Did the date for September 17th,
I believe so.
agreeable to everybody?
Yes.
So far.
Pardon?
September,
September 17th.
a week of,
So it will be September 17th?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Callahan, did you have anything else to add? And we need to take a vote on the continuance.
It's a vacation. But the information you're requesting, I agree with. I think it needs to be detailed going down Fletcher Road to the point where the bounds that they're referencing in their application are in for all four corners of the lots from, I think it's, I don't have my drawing in front of me, but 1917. Right, no,
Do you want your plan back?
There's the first 2 or 3 lots on Fletcher Ave, okay? Fletcher Road, I'm sorry. Yes, here we go. 24, 25, 26. So, all 4 corners of these lots, because that's going to determine your back lot line for this whole traverse, where they came in here and they put Baldwin Park 1 in there. Okay, which is going to determine all your lot lines on the rear, the latest conveyance. So, right now, there's a bust we know here in this street, but no one has determined anything on the back side of these lots. And see, he's using a bound here, 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 and here. I want to see it verified. And it goes out to all the abutters with the information. So if you say that lot 24 down the bottom of Harold Ave is now 97 feet on the front versus 106, well, you may have a neighbor down here for the next meeting. They want to see how they're going to be directly affected, potentially. So all the abutters would have a known
Well,
layout.
all of these butters were notified.
Right, or anyone within
300
300 feet. So I don't know
I mean,
if that goes all the way down, though.
on 24.
Because if you're only focused on, if you're only focused on 1A, then,
Well, we're close to the middle, but you're right, it might not have gone all the way to 24.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Motion to continue,
to September?
September here?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so this matter is continued to our September hearing, and I will reach out to the city solicitor so that he starts to focus on this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I guess, I understand the hearing's over. If the city solicitor does have an opinion that this is not something for, the board to properly consider,
Yeah,
then,
we'll let you know sooner than later.
we can obviously take a different approach.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. All right, the next item on our agenda is the approval of the meeting minutes from our June 18th hearing. Member Ryan and I have provided our comments and edits to Mr. Vincent. Does anybody else have any to share?
Make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that passed. The last item on our agenda is any other matter that may be legally before the board. I'm not aware that we have. The only thing I have is a question about our form. Did we, has our, these forms that are like never ending, has our application form been updated to have that little ADU
I did send that.
option?
Because I have not had a chance to.
That's all right, and no one's looking for it, so that's fine. So just, so that when someone does, the
I
form
will
is
do it
correct.
tomorrow.
Okay. All right, we're adjourned.
Second. Did we vote on that?
No, we didn't vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.